Hi, I'm Brent Johnson.
I'm Andrew Schaeffer.
We're continuing our trip here of OHS organs that will be featured in the OHS convention next summer, 2025, in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. We've come to St. John's Lutheran on the hillside, correct?
Something like that.
You know, big, beautiful church here, built in 1898. Was that correct?
1890.
1890.
Finished in 1890.
There we go. And a place that features light bulbs. 800
of them, to be
exact. They got electricity
yeah.
here sometime in the 20th century, and they really wanted to show it off. So.
And their original switches are
downstairs,
too. That's an adventure to turn them on.
And here we have an exciting organ. Tell me about this instrument.
This was built in 1890, concurrently with the church being dedicated by Karl Barckhoff of Salem, Ohio, actually. And it was significant for two reasons. One is that it was the only one that at that time had a 16-foot reed. And when we go in there, you'll see it is enormous. And it also was the largest organ that Barckhoff designed at the time.
Really?
And to our knowledge, and maybe this will make great fodder for the comment section, it's the largest Barckhoff that has survived. There's another one in New York that is one rank smaller than this one.
Interesting.
So now this has been altered, but I would posit to say that this is the largest collection of Barckhoff pipework left in the United States here at St. John's.
Just looking at it, it looks like there maybe used to be a console in the case.
So it was originally mechanical action, and it had tubular pneumatic stop action. So it was sort of in the hybrid years when they were figuring things out. The church was not originally electrified, of course. When they got electricity, and shortly after the turn of the 20th century, they went all out.
Electrified
they were
everything.
really proud. They wanted everyone to know they had electricity. And shortly after they got electricity, of course, as was popular in the day, I imagine the tubular pneumatic stop action wasn't super reliable, perhaps. They contacted with Wangerin-Weickhardt here in Milwaukee to electrify the organ, add this console to it.
This looks like a Wangerin console.
Yes, and I think add one or two stops, some strings, and a big tuba in the grate. The organ has remained in that condition for quite some time until the 1990s, when another local builder from Manitowish up north came and put a Peterson combination action on the console. Console definitely needs some TLC. It's really seen better days, but it makes a lot of beautiful sounds, and that's why we're here.
Indeed.
And I will add one more thing, that this organ is also significant in that Philip Wersching, who was a big name in organ building in the turn of the 20th century, this was his first organ that he helped design when he was hired by the Wangerin-Weickhardt company. And he brought over his ideas of German Romanticism. And so this is very much a transitional organ for Wangerin in what they revoiced and what they added.
Okay. Well, where should we start?
So I should add, like I said, everything is Barckhoff with the exception of some Wangerin stuff. So maybe it would be helpful to just start with the Wangerin stuff, and then we'll move to the Barckhoff, and then we won't have to delineate what is what.
Sounds good.
So I'll start with some beautiful strings. This is a viol d'orchestre and a celeste with it. I'll put something in the pedal. And one thing I love about this organ is it has mechanical swell boxes still.
Oh, yes.
And so you sit at this console, and it sort of surprises you because you think it's going to be electric, but you get this wonderful dynamic range with the mechanical swell box. Listen to that swell box. I mean, creation.
Yeah, indeed.
I don't care what anyone says, nothing beats a mechanical swell box if you can pull it off. Better than any technological advancements they can make. Let's use the super coupler and see just how luxurious these strings get.
keen, cutting edge there. But also you can close it down, make it just a little soft whisper there.
And then there's, Wangerin added a big tuba in the grate, which is called trumpet in the console redo of the 90s.
Big trumpet there, big tuba.
Yep. And then one of the two open diapasons at 8, I think, was added by Wangerin. If someone who knows the organ better than I is watching this, maybe John Miller or Ryan Mueller, you can chime in and say, I believe it's the second open. Let's hear it. Let's listen to it with the first. My guess is it is the second.
Yeah, that's a very different sound from.
It's a stringer. It just sounds more like it could be a Barckhoff.
Okay.
So that is it.
Okay, just
of Wangerin. And some of the Barckhoff stuff was revoiced a little bit, and there was a few extensions added here and there, but overall this organ is original. Okay. So let's start in the swell with the Barckhoff stuff. Here is the 16-foot Borden.
It's very gentle.
Yeah, it's a really nice stop. And we'll use it in combination with other things here in a little bit. Okay. Let's move our way through the flutes. We have an independent stop diapason. Doesn't come from the Borden, and it's a little bit bigger. Then a concert flute.
Lovely. It's nice to have those two 8-foot flutes.
Right. And about equal volume. I think the stop diapason might be a little bit bigger. They're about the same. And then flauto traverso at 4-foot pitch.
Very nice.
And then a 2-foot piccolo. And they are very much different. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So here's our 8-foot stop diapason, flauto traverso 4, and piccolo.
Okay.
Contrast that with the concert flute with the 4 and 2. It's a nice little variety there.
Indeed. Okay.
So we actually have a lot of 4-foots. There's a fugara. Which you could use with the viol de orchestra and the celeste.
Yeah.
Or you could use it with the open diapason. Right? And then we actually have a Gemshorn 4.
Oh.
Contrast to the fugara. So let's try the Gemshorn with the strings. Let's try the super tune. So 2-foot string. Kind of a cool effect
That's
on
pretty
that.
amazing, yeah. All right.
All right, and so then we have actually another set of strings besides the Golden Orchestra. That's the Salitional and the Voix Celeste, and these are original to the Barckhoff.
Okay.
The super. Let's put all the strings together. With that Gemshorn. Now let's put it with the violone and the pedal and the melodia and the Gemshorn and the Dulciana and the great, and we'll put that super coupler on and the swell, the great, 8 and 4, and see what happens. And the great is in closed 2.
The Barckhoff strings, though, are much more subtle than the Wangerin editions later.
You think?
Yeah. I can see they probably wanted to add a little brightness to push it forward. But yeah, okay, very nice sounds.
Then a mixture. All right, so let's try putting the 8-4-2 mixture. Put something in the pedal.
Okay.
Nice unforced sound.
Yeah.
Oboe. So let's put that with some 8s, actually, and the 4s, and see how we get a kind of a cage swell effect. I'm going to add it to the grate. See? Can you tell I like that swell box?
Yeah, I can tell.
I know. So a trumpet too. With the super.
Sound.
And I'll do the same test. I'll couple it to the grate, and we'll see what we get.
It's impressive.
Really quiet sound. I believe the Vox Humana is unfunctional right at the minute. I don't know how they live without it.
Yeah.
So moving on to the grate, we have a 16-foot open diapason. Let's try it. There we go. Let's try it. Okay. There you go.
And that's
Finally got something.
That's in the
work.
facade here.
I think
Some
so.
of it.
It would not surprise me. I'm not sure though.
I'm not sure it is though. Yeah.
And as we've already heard, there's that 8-foot open diapason, 8, that's original of the Barckhoff, pretty sure. Then we have a doppelflute, 8. Really nice and keen. You could use it as a solo against those lovely Wangerin strings. Let's try that out. Yeah, works really well.
Yeah.
Then a melodia, the ubiquitous melodia, as I always say.
Yeah. Yep.
No organ from this vintage is complete without it. It's a big melodia.
Big melodia.
Again, you could use it with the strings and the swell. Let's live large and put them together, the doppelflute and the melodia.
Yeah. Just a big, thick sound there. Wonderful.
Foot gamba. And as we often do, we pair the gamba with 8-foot diapason.
That's a little bit.
It's a
What
little
about the
bit.
second diapason? A little more effective there. Just okay.
Gemshorn 8. And then Dulciana 8. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 foots in there. It's missing an aeoline. I don't know how they live without that.
You know?
But the Dulciana will have to work in a pinch. That would work really well for a soloist or whatnot. 4-foot octave. Here it is with the first open. And the second open. Flute harmonique. Obviously must transition because this sounds like a stopped wood bass. Here it is in contrast with the flauto traverso.
Oh, nice.
2 foot 15th. Very fluty sounding principal scale, but let's put the, I'm going to put the 8-foot open diapason, the 8-foot gamba, 4-foot octave, 2, and then some stuff in the pedal. With the mixture. Take off the 2 foot 15th and put the great super on and see what happens. That's a lot of sound.
It is.
For 6, 7, 8 ranks there.
Go back to the mixture. I could tell you added it, but it's very subtle compared to the rest of it. So it's low pitched and it's not real bright. So
Very low.
It adds some, but it's not the cutting edge. The trumpet is way more effective at brightening up the ensemble than.
Yeah, I'm curious to hear the swell mixture. Grade is quite a bit lower. I'm not a mixture expert, so some of you can comment on what's going on there. So in the pedal we have, of course, a 16-foot open wood. The open diapason in the grade, which is metal, does not play in the pedal unless you couple it. So this open wood, as you would expect, is absolutely huge. 16-foot violone. And a pretty big 16-foot sub bass. Of course, a Borden, then there's a quint. I'm sure it comes from the It might be independent. We'll go ahead and find out. And then the octave bass. Which is independent. The violoncello. Which does come from the violin.
Okay.
And now all you've been waiting for, that infamous 16-foot trombone, that Barckhoff trombone. Transitions to a kind of a lighter reed as you get up the compass.
Oh. Oh, it definitely loses some of that depth.
No organ is complete without
Chimes.
All right.
That's the most important stop.
Let's get our viol d'orchestra and celestional and Celeste, Gemshorn, super coupler, of course.
So some interesting wiring going on in there, but
Yeah. I don't know how we'll get around it for OHS.
Well,
have to tell the performer the chimes is not
chimes are off the repertoire.
off limits. So that's the. This is the Barckhoff Wangerin organ. It's one of these only in Milwaukee organs.
Yeah.
You won't find many of that combination out in the wild. But this is a lovely church. It's the neighborhood. It's been in decline for quite a while. However, as the new stadium has been built and downtown has encroached here, there's a lot of rejuvenation happening in this neighborhood. So this church has a new lease on life, and hopefully this organ will have a new lease on life too.
I hope so. Getting into the organ's easy enough with the door and the case here. First thing we see in front of us are pedal pipes. These are all offset pedal chests with some lovely red leather on the pneumatics underneath. These have all been redone recently. Not sure what stop that is in front of us, but this one here is in fact an independent 10 2/3 quint, so that is an independent stop. This is the cello here in front of us, and I think that's either the sub bass or the Borden, but we can see this big open 16-foot cellos there in the back. We'll get another look at those later. There's no markings that I can see to say what these pipes are. Then walking around these chests, we go down towards the facade. And we can see the chest for the parts of the facade that are speaking here. And we are underneath the swell box, so this is the swell chest above us. We have a big double rise reservoir there. See the pedal cello pipes in the back. There's our mechanical swell linkages. Now you'll notice there's two of them. I'll explain that in a bit. Tubing for the swell stop action. Swell up there. The reservoir is weighted down with stones. In fact, one of them appears to be an old headstone from the churchyard. Now we're underneath the great chest on this side, and you can see that the action magnets have been replaced. That's all been redone. And then over to the side we have the pedal open. This is the top of it. And then we can walk around behind it. And there's a door on the other side of the case, so if you can access it from either side. And then there's more of the pedal. That's that big pedal trombone going all the way to the ceiling there. And then pedal open back here, which interestingly is a different color than the rest of the pipes. I don't know why that is. Were they replaced or changed, or they were visible at one point? There's a little area back here. The window has been walled off from the organ, but you can walk through the door and re-enter the organ from the back. Now we're on the other side of the pedal open here, and then there's the top of the trombone. There's a walkboard up there between the swell box and another box. There's a little skinny box there. We'll have to see exactly what that is. Here's a unit action for the pipes that are in that box. So crawling under here, we can see some of the old switches that have been replaced with solid state. And this ladder takes us up to a walkboard. It goes up to the level of the pipes. So we're going to climb up. Now we're on that walkboard. Here's the pedal trombone. Very big wooden resonators. That skinny little box there. There's our other pedal quint and our Borden or sub bass and the violoncello, and then the cello going all the way up to the ceiling as well. So turning around back here, we can see the great pipes. We have our tuba there, mixture, our strings, Gims horn. And then over here on this side, we have flutes and principals. Sure enough, our 4-foot flute there is stopped at the bottom. In fact, the bottom 2 octaves are stopped. Usually it's just 1, but now our doppel flute, we can definitely see mouths on both sides of the pipes. And then our 8-foot flute, which is stopped not 12, but 17 pipes. So a little more than an octave is stopped before it opens up. So just interesting that that's different. And then our open pipes are here, principals. And you can see that the facade at one point was stenciled. It's since been painted over, but there's a little bit of the pattern you can see on the backs of the facade pipes. Also, I like that the second layer of pipes are not real pipes at all. They're just open cans, adding some visual interest to the facade of the organ. And here's where the speaking pipes are regulated on the chest, little sticks there to regulate the air going into the toe of the pipe. Another look at all of that facade work. And we can see our swell linkages up there. We turn around and there's this little box. It just has some shades on the top part of it. I've opened them up here because I can do that because it's a mechanical swell action. And so let's peek inside. And inside this box is the Vox Humana. That's the only thing there. The Vox Humana has its own expression, completely separate from the swell. And I'm really sad that it wasn't working because I would be curious to see how that works when you can mix and match with the fully expressive swell. It's just the top of the box that's expressive too. Okay, with that closed back up, the opening to the swell is right here. So we go inside and find a nice big spacious swell box. Have a little extension chest right here. Seems like I've seen several of those lately. All right. Big 8-foot open there is at the front. Then we see our stop diapason and our 4-foot, and then that 4-foot flute, which again has 2 octaves of stopped pipes before it opens up to metal. Our 4-foot Gims horn is in there. The 2-foot, and then our mixture is down before we get to the trumpet. And interestingly, this trumpet is mitered in the bottom octave. All the pipes are there at a certain height, even though there's plenty of room above it, which makes me wonder if these came from another organ, or if this swell box was shorter at one point, or there's any number of reasons to do that. The oboe over here also has had the same treatment. It's even shorter, which is confusing. We get to our strings. Back here, I don't know which is which. We have a viola orchestra and a solitional. And then our 8-foot flute, which then goes harmonic in the top half. I believe that's our Celeste right there behind it, because it stops at tenor C. One of the Celestes, anyway. And then in the back we have the 16-foot Borden on the swell. Yeah, the mitered pipes are the only surprises considering what a big spacious swell box this is. Going back out here to the grate, we of course can notice the chimes hanging on the side of the swell. These are obviously newer with electric action and were added at some point. we hope you'll want to come to the OHS convention in 2025 here in Milwaukee and come hear this organ as well as so many others. And we have some more we're still going to be able to bring to you, give you a little preview of what's coming up next year. So make sure you subscribe to our channel and click the bell for notifications so you know when our next videos are coming out. Until then, I'm just going to say, Andrew, thank you so much for getting us in here to see this wonderful historic instrument. And I hope it gets lots of love and lots of attention. So that's it for now. Thank you for watching. Until next time, I'm Brent Johnson.
I'm Andrew Schaeffer.
We'll see you soon.